Perhaps the most serious. The previous two you can sort of laugh off, but this one, the president, and again, as John said, and we've been saying all morning, if you have a couple of different people sitting in those chairs other than Jeffrey Rosen and Richard Donoghue, DHS may have gone after the voting machines.
Yeah.
Right. And think about the timing of this. Let's put all of this in context. Jonathan, Karl, this is happening in the middle of a transition between two administrations. I know you've talked to many presidents, you've talked to many people that have worked for administrations going and during a transition. Even in the best of circumstances, it is an impossible task to get the new people going into the White House up and running on domestic affairs, international affairs, even in the best of circumstances. But here, we had that transition. We had tensions with China, obviously problems rising in Russia. We had COVID, a pandemic that killed over 1 million people. And Donald Trump has his entire government focused on chasing internet conspiracy theories instead of trying to manage a next to impossible transition between his administration and the incoming administration.
I mean, the national security implications are far-reaching because not only what you outlined, we were also very concerned, the national security agencies were very concerned about Iran because we were coming up on the anniversary of the assassination of Soleimani. The anniversary, I believe, was January 3rd. And the Iranians had been increasing the threats on U.S. forces in the region. Our embassy compound in Baghdad was shelled quite aggressively in late December. And there was real concerns that the Iranians would try to do some kind of an attack to take out an American official on the anniversary of the Soleimani assassination. So that was going on. The Pentagon had delivered a message to the Iranians that if they did kill an American, the response would be swift, and it would not be proportionate. That it would be a very strong attack from the United States on Iran. So there was a real possibility that we were facing war with Iran. And at this moment, you have the Director of National Intelligence, the leadership at the Pentagon, and the leadership at the Department of Justice, chasing down these conspiracy theories. And also, Joe, there's one other thing. I was told that in every meeting, this is not an exaggeration, every meeting that Donald Trump had during this period, no matter what the subject, whether it be COVID or the Iranian threat or what the Chinese were doing or any of it, would come down to the election. This is all he wanted to talk about. Whether he was talking to his defense officials, his intelligence officials, anybody, he would come down to the election.